After all, I'm innocent. In spite of the locked room. It always comes back to that, huh? What the hell is that? I'm guessing it's meat of some kind. It looks rather gross though. That is Kazuma's katana. He always had it attached to his hip. The katana is the heart of the Japanese. That was one of Asugi's favourite sayings. I heard that he persuaded the government to allow him to bring his katana into Britain. Just goes to show how important it was to him to keep it by his side. Asugi had the spirit of a proud warrior. I have to ensure that it lives on. Alright. He has a good choice in weapons. Katanas are incredible. Those are the leftovers from last night's dinner. The roast chicken. Yes, it was quite delicious. Incidentally, did you happen to eat your meal on the floor? I'm not a pet dog, you know. I ate my chicken at the dining table like an actual human. Odd though, when did that chicken bone fall onto the floor? Oh, but didn't Kazuma hate chicken? I seem to remember as much. How? Wow. That's new. He despised it. In fact, he vehemently refused to even touch it last night. So being the hungry stowaway, I ate up every last bite of it. Oh, so that means Kazuma had likely been famished during his final night on Earth, just before he perished. How immensely pitiful. I suddenly have a stomachache. Stab after stab of sheer raw guilt. Okay, what else can I look at? There's this pink thing. As I've said, you don't need to keep watching, it's fine, I don't mind. So what have we got? This. What's this? It looks like a piece of broken glass. Some small glass object seems to have been broken in half. It looks like a bell. It's quite a beautiful colour, don't you think? Was it from a Netsuke? Like those buttons that men used to hang from their kimonos? I think you're right. Did this belong to Asugi? Was he hiding such a lovely piece of art without our knowledge? Aside from that, there are also some dark brownish red marks on the floor here. Dark brownish red. That is an accurate description, but one problem remains. I don't see anything with the type of colouring that could have made these marks. I'm guessing, is that blood, maybe? Depending how long he's been dead, like the blood would have turned brown when it dried up. So I can examine the door. I didn't want to do that. Fuck. I appreciate all the kind words. And have a good night's sleep. Yeah, there we go. Examine the dying message. Did Asugi write that? Judging by the colour, I think this message was written using ink. When he collapsed, he must have jostled the desk, causing the bottle of ink to fall. Then he dipped his finger in the spilled ink and wrote out his last message. Must have been a terrible way to die. Oh, how heart-wrenching. Was Asugi trying to leave us a clue as he took his last breaths? I'm so sorry, Asugi. I just can't read this message. Yeah, it's Russian, I think. It's probably because these symbols are not written in Japanese. What in the world? What language are they then? Russian. Oh. I'm afraid that I have no clue myself. I've never seen letters like these before. Where are they from? What do they mean? I'd probably guess that they're Russian. We have the trunk. That's quite a large trunk. It's more like a big box of memories for me now. Memories? I don't quite follow. To tell you the truth, we used the trunk to transport me aboard during embarkment. Ah, that explains this warning label. Do not turn upside down. Yeah, I should have known better than to think the sailors would be able to read that. And so I was flipped over and thrown, tossed and flipped over again, so many times. Smuggling a person isn't an easy thing to do, is it? And yet, it's still 1,000 times better than going up against a Susato toss. Okay, so I think I've... Oh, I was gonna say I've looked at everything, but maybe not. The SS Auclair's ship regulations are posted here on this placard. It's something akin to a list of requests from the captain to the passengers. Do not store any dangerous goods, such as weapons or animals, in the cabins. What? Why are you staring at me like that? No, it's nothing. I was just thinking, are you more of a weapon or an animal? It just happened to cross my mind for a second. Either way, you can still mark me off as a forbidden possession, I guess. We have this thing, whatever this is. These books have all fallen over. Not a single one is left standing. Is that a statuette of the guardian god of the sea? It's fallen on its side. Looks like everything on this shelf toppled over like a deck of cards. Do you think, by any chance, that Kazuma knocked all these things over when he was practicing his swordsmanship? No way. I don't think he would do that. Well then. Did you lose your temper and knock everything down after you woke up? I wouldn't have left the wardrobe just to do something like that, you know. Something happened to knock all these items loose. But is it related to the case? To this case? Anyway, let me put things back as they were. This is going to bother me otherwise. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. Alright, what else? We have the desk. Kazuma must have spent last night reading and writing at this very desk. His London travel journal. Left incomplete before he could even make it there. Apparently the last sentence on the final page was left unfinished. Does this mean the incident occurred while he was in the middle of writing this entry? Let's read it. It might contain a clue. Alright, I got tossed. You mustn't do that. Even if the owner is lost to us, you can't just read someone else's journal. It's improper. But for all we know, there might be something important written inside. Alright, fine, I won't read it. Sheesh. Kazuma. It's not as if I actually want to go prying through Asugi's personal belongings. But I also know that we need to find as many clues as possible. For his sake. Alright, well now I can go over here. Now what else is there? There's a chair, the wardrobe, the bed. There's not really much else I can look at. It's been half a month since we left Japan. After all this time, you've been crammed into that wardrobe. Can you refrain from saying the word crammed? Ah, please pardon me. Let me say you enjoyed the voyage, from the comfort of your own personal hiding place. Well, I had to stay hidden since we had no idea when sailors might enter the cabin. That's the reason I was crammed inside the wardrobe for most of the trip. Of course, I was stuck in there all through the night as well. So because of that, you didn't wake up during the murder. It hurts so much to think about it. What's this? We have a vent. Ah, not what I wanted. What the hell? The hitbox on that thing is ridiculous. Examine it. Sheesh. I believe that's an air duct. It's sort of a hole that keeps the air in the cabin circulating instead of getting stale. But this seems pretty mysterious. Mysterious in what way? This air duct. It obviously leads through the wall and into the cabin next door. Yes, you appear to be right. But if you wanted fresh air, wouldn't it be better to have the air duct connect to the outside? Yes, that makes sense. Maybe it's to avoid having rain blown into the ship if a raging storm approaches. Huh, maybe that's it. Okay. Who is that man? He wasn't here a moment ago. From the looks of it, he's clearly a European. Ah, over there. Yeah, you noticed him too, Shintaro. That suspicious... that tall gentleman. Now, this is a surprise. Naruhodo, could it be that... You don't know who this gentleman is? No, I'm not acquainted with any foreign gentleman. He gives off a very strange aura. It's clearly different from all the sailors. I can't tell if he's inspecting Asuki's desk or just playing with it. Oh, come then. Let's hear what he has to say. Am I imagining it, or did Sasato's eyes just light up? Oh, by the way, you may have already realized this, but when you touch a person with the cursor, you can talk with them. Alright then, let's go talk to that that tall gentleman over there. Right. Why... I don't get it. Why is he on the desk in such a weird way? I want to investigate this first. I know what this is. It's an apparatus known as a call bell. It's an apparatus. Indeed. I've seen them in books about the culture of the Great British Empire. They're used in other countries. You'll pull the rope to ring the bell, then a servant appears. When you say it like that, it sounds just like sorcery. Let's try ringing it. Yes, let's do it. As part of our research on Western culture, of course. Aww. Wonder if nobody came because we're Japanese. No, don't be silly. I'm sure everyone just has their hands full right now. Alright, let's talk to Mr. Holmes. Excuse me. Echo doesn't say anything. Excuse me, could you spare a moment of your time? Quiet, I'm in the middle of something big. Okay. Maybe we should leave him be. I have a feeling that this could turn into trouble fast. I suppose so. If that's what you think is best. Greetings. So sorry to have kept you waiting. Excuse me? Can I ask what you were doing with Asugi's desk just now? Oh god. I see. So that's what's going on. Huh? What exactly do you mean? I feel like I'm being heavily scrutinized. It appears that I've uncovered the whole truth of the matter. My flawless reasoning whispers the truth of all things. Yes, that's it. You've returned here from Afghanistan, and quite recently at that. What? What crack have you been smoking? What? And on your way to a foreign country, you found yourself facing a predicament. Ah, well, he's not wrong about that. How in the world? Also, welcome back. How in the world did you come to know all of that? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean to ask? Please, this is but rudimentary reasoning. Nothing for me to bother explaining. Is there perhaps anything else you might know? Oh yes, but of course. Countless things. Countless. Take, for example. Your true identity is that of a Russian refugee, a most cruel and heartless revolutionary. No, I'm Japanese. Not quite Russian. You've killed 16 people so far, and you plan to go to Britain to blow up the Crystal Tower. However, in order to hide your identity, you murder that man with the headband. Am I correct? Well, I suppose that just about sums it up. Come now, there's no reason to hide your crimes. You know it to be futile. Except that you were wrong on literally every account. This is sort of a long shot, but were you talking about me just now? Of course I was talking about you. Tell me, do you see any other Russians capable of assassinating 16 people? I'm definitely not capable of doing that either. And I'm not Russian. I was right all along. He's a fraud. What? Okay, what the hell? What has people been smoking? The one who stole Kazuma's life was you, Naruhodo. And on top of that, you're a revolutionary as well. How insolent. How shameless. How stupid. Oh my god. Oh great, I got fucking tossed. Wait. I didn't get to read what she said. Oh. Where's me backlog? There it is! What did it say? Hey now, like I said. And then we got tossed. The time is at hand. Now, what's your defense against these claims? Ugh, I give up. Oh. What is that? Oh, my apologies. I did not mean to disgrace you. No matter how you slice it, there's no way I could be a Russian revolutionary. I'm so sorry. And as for you, how could you carelessly fire off so many irresponsible, far-fetched theories? And yet, did I not still speak the truth? On your way to a foreign country, you found yourself facing a predicament. Well, that much is true, yes. See? How's that? What do you make of that? If you really want to know what I make of that, then you're full of shit. It's a fact that this ship is headed to Britain, and that I'm cuffed here at the crime scene. It's not really a theory, it goes without saying, as the phrase goes. And so it does. That is precisely the principle of reasoning. Try to say it goes without saying aloud. It is unexpectedly and most mysteriously effective. Right. So then, who exactly are you? I'm the Sherlock Holmes. Ah yes, I have delayed my introduction long enough. I am a man known around the globe, the world's greatest and most famous detective. Yes, for I am the famous Sherlock Holmes. A pleasure to meet you. Oh, I knew it. You're the real Holmes, in the flesh. But of course, I am the Sherlock Holmes, in the flesh. Susato, do you happen to know this man? Of course I do. Everyone in the world knows who the great detective is. All of a sudden, I feel like I've been cut off from the rest of the world. In any case, we should listen to what Mr. Holmes has to say. We'll be sure to find out the truth to this incident in no time with his help. I've got a really bad feeling about this. Right, let's have a word with Sherlock. Where's Watson? The great detective. Bum bum. So you're a great detective, and you said your name was... the Sherlock Holmes, I'm guessing. Precisely. A great detective indeed. I knew it. I am the famous Sherlock Holmes. Alright, well then, the Sherlock Holmes. Ah, no, there's no need to say the each time. Mr. Holmes is more than adequate. If your interest in my escapades is piqued, then I would recommend you read this. The Strand magazine. This is a popular entertainment publication in Great Britain. Rest assured, Mr. Holmes, I've imported every issue from Great Britain without fail. It says The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes right here. So basically, you're a character in this book. Precisely. You've hit the mark. So he's so engrossed in this book that he actually believes he's the great detective. Okay. I can tell by your face that you misunderstand. I'm not as self-deluded as I might seem. The truth, in fact, is completely the opposite. He's such a great detective they made books about him. What age am I? I'm 25. Opposite? You see, this is a series of stories about my adventures, as written by my biographer. Right, your biographer. Indeed, presently Dr. Watson is back in London, looking after our flat. Dr. Watson? Well, there's Watson. Thanks to the popularity of this book, the Doctor has been incredibly busy as of late. As have I. I returned from Asia where I solved the mystery surrounding a cursed royal crown. I can't tell if he's joking or serious, but either way, that sounds terrifying. To me, deduction is everything. Simply put, it is the art of pure logic. Pure logic? Art? A great observer of men does not allow even a single reaction to slip by unnoticed. A slight change in the line of sight, or facial muscles, a person's very manner of conduct. Their fingernails, their sleeves, the wrinkles in their clothes. All of this is vital information. I see. A great observer can synthesize all of that information together in a single instant. And the logic he gleans from his conclusions will allow him to find the one and only truth. Indeed, you saw these very powers at work earlier. He's got some nerve being able to say that while looking me right in the eye. Yes, an extraordinary observer, a formidable logician, and the greatest detective alive. That is him and he is me, Sherlock Holmes. Hot damn, one hell of an introduction. That was just the first... wow. Asugi's incident. Have you heard anything in regards to the incident? My. Have I heard anything? Well, I only drew out the culprit lurking in his cabin and discovered what he was hiding. You do realise that you're speaking with the great detective Sherlock Holmes, right? I do, yes. Wait, then... it was him. He's the one to blame for the mess I'm in. I mean, to be fair, it does look fairly suspicious. I know we didn't do it, but it still looks suspicious. This morning, after I realised that something was wrong in the cabin, I called for the sailors' help in opening the door. Yes, the sailors set themselves to their work, and the great detective bated his breath. That's right, it was I, Sherlock Holmes, who found you at the scene of the crime. And dare I say, those handcuffs compliment you quite nicely. Well, whatever else may have happened, two truths dawned on me at that moment in time. Two truths? Oh, okay. Two truths. Mr. Holmes, can you elaborate, please? What are the two truths you realised this morning while you were in this cabin? Let me be more precise. They are two truths that I pieced together in a single instant. Let's put it that way. I think it's because he's the famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. And they really want to let you know that. I see. Please, tell me more. Very well. The two truths I deduced from the state of the cabin. 1. The culprit could not have escaped, as it was a locked room incident. And 2. The victim was Russian, and he was killed after a falling out with his comrade. Please, hold on for a moment. Why Russian? The thing on the floor. Also, this is it's a phone on... phone, sheesh. It's a game on the 3DS, and it was also released on iOS and Android. I'm playing it on Android. but I'm playing it on an emulator called BlueStacks. It also looks far better than the 3DS version does. Please hold on for a moment. Why Russian? Why, that's easy enough. The message left behind by the victim on the floor. Take a look. Oh. 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 So they must have known someone was inside of it, and used that to point it towards us. It means wardrobe in Russian. Kazuma wrote his dying message in Russian? In his final moments, his native tongue was the first to come to mind, thus he is Russian. Asugi is Russian now. Initially I worked under the assumption that the culprit's name was Wardrobe, however. Out of precaution, I opened the actual wardrobe in order to verify the situation for myself. And that was where Naruhodo was sleeping, right? Just so, inside was a slumbering Russian. The true culprit, in other words, you. Jeez. Are there any other Russians I need to know about? You were wearing the same attire as the victim, ergo you were comrades. If memory serves, that is certainly the type of clothing that Russians are known to wear. What? The student uniform has actually been Russian clothing all the time? All this time? I'm absolutely sure that the great detective's memory is dead wrong there. There are 3 official Ace Attorney... Actually no, there are 4 official Ace Attorney games on Android. There's Ace Attorney Investigations, Apollo of Justice, Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, and then Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. The Great Ace Attorney is available on Android, but it's not an official English release. It's a fan translation, and a very good one at that. Ah yes, I took a photograph earlier to avoid any tampering with the words on the floor. So I now get a photograph? Oh yeah! This is a photograph taken of the victim's corpse before it was transported out of the room. By the time I opened my eyes, Asugi's body was already gone. This is my first time seeing him in this state with my own eyes. Are you alright, Naruhodo? Yes, I'll be fine. Crime scene photograph has been filed in the court record. The Russian word for wardrobe is written here in purple ink. Thought to have been written with the last of Asugi's strength. Or Asugi's finger was used as a pen to write the message. Oh, that's right, Mr. Holmes? Yes, what do you need? Speaking of Russia, didn't you say this earlier? That I'm a, Russian, and a refugee, and a cruel revolutionary, or something. Ah yes, that was the truth whispered by my logic. Could you maybe elaborate about that seemingly careless whisper? No idea, that's something in Russian. Of course, gladly. Like I said, I'm not Russian. Okay, your reasoning. About that earlier theory of yours, the one that's about me. On a journey to a foreign land with a predicament facing you. Is that the one? Yeah, that's right. Please explain all the other parts of what you said, too. The Russian refugee, the revolutionary, the assassination of 16 people. Ah, that. Well, it's a simple theory, truthfully. Here is this morning's newspaper. The front page headline reads as follows. And yeah, I don't care for multiplayer games. I've just never really been interested in them. I play a few every now and again with people I went to college with, but like that's very rare. For the most part, I just play single player stuff. Okay. Revolutionary Dmitry Demogleski flees Russia, believed to be en route to Shanghai. This ship made port in Shanghai yesterday, and last night a Russian was killed. Since when did Asugi turn into a Russian? Kazuma may have been mistaken for a Russian due to the words he left on the floor, but he didn't... Alright, whatever. Wait, he didn't leave those words. Therefore, in conclusion, the culprit of this crime must be the heartless revolutionary. Having had his own identity exposed in the paper, he murdered his fellow refugee. In summation, you are he. Are you high? Mr. Dmitry Demoglansky himself. No. I mean, first of all, we don't look even remotely similar. Look at his face, then look at mine. He looks like a cartoon villain. I don't. Well, nonetheless, the fact remains that you are the terrible revolutionary. After all, isn't it likely that a revolutionary would have revolutionized his own fate? That's your argument? By the way, your name isn't listed on the passenger list for embarkment either.